You're listening to the Frame100 podcast, a show by Brickfilmers for Brickfilmers.
And welcome to the Frame100 podcast, the show recommended by 9 out of 10 parrots in a trash can. You're listening to episode 11 of the show. I'm Chris, known as Gold Brick Productions, here with Trevor, aka Suited Ninja Nerd Studios.
Hey, how's it going?
Marcus, aka Brickhat Studios.
Hello there.
And the ghosts of Jared, aka Dude Brick, and Sam, aka Locker74. Gone but not forgotten. They're just on break right now.
This is the part where I play a fanfare on my trumpet, but I don't know how to play the trumpet, so I can't exactly,
Wait, since
do
when
that.
do you play trumpet?
I just said I don't.
Fun fact, Marcus did play trumpet for like 6 months.
Interesting.
Well, Marcus, where's our fanfare?
I can't do it because I
the
actually
only
have
reason we
wheezing,
keep
so
you
that's why I
here.
quit trumpet.
Oh my
We're off to a
god.
great start today.
That's wonderful.
Well, gentlemen, up until we derailed like 5 seconds ago, how's your evening going?
It's been fine, I guess. I haven't done much today. Just getting
Is this
assignments
your
done.
first podcast ever since like you're getting back from like school and things like that?
Well, yeah. I for those who don't know, yes, I'm a film student, so I have returned back to campus in these very weird and strange times that we're currently living in. But
Well, that's very interesting and all, but what we're really all wondering is, who was the closest to guessing the plot of A Deal to Die For?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yo, this I gotta know. Yes.
Last week's episode was
also known as Trev quotes, or I'm quoting Trev, the worst episode so far.
yeah.
I think it's the best episode.
I think it was pretty good.
I hated
I
that
liked it.
episode. Nothing's gonna top the Indiana Jones episode. Come on, you're kidding yourself. I
Who
can't
was
say
closest, Trev?
I can't say that that episode.
Can you just say one of us at
Trev,
least was close?
Who was closest?
Did anybody
Was one of
make
us
it-
close?
Was anybody even close? I guess Chris was kind of close. And
No!
a lot of aspects of what you guessed were very off, but the core idea was
killing me,
definitely
Trev.
a lot more online with, I think, what you'll end up seeing. But again,
according to canon, according to the A Deal to Die For cinematic universe,
there is no
I technically
cinematic
wrote
universe.
the sequel.
Oh my god.
Well, Nick Douglas on Twitter has a question about Brickfilm universes.
Oh
How's that
yeah,
for the best segue ever?
I like
it's the best
that.
segue since Paul Blart Mall Cop. Anyways, we got at Nick A. Douglas on Twitter who says, hashtag Frame100 podcast. What worlds in Brickfilms do you like best? For example, I really like the worlds of The Front, Mini Life TV, Rygo Faloo, and many more. It's an interesting question because I can't think of a whole ton of Brickfilm worlds per se, but I feel like every Brickfilm kind of has its own world, whether or not it's explored in multiple videos or not.
Like, does he mean like? I guess it's like a series, right? Because those are types of series too.
Yeah, it would probably have to be.
Sense, yeah.
It would have to be something where more than one episode takes place in that, or more than one video takes place in that location, and I guess the location would also have to be named as well, because like I know, My Unluckiest Life takes place in. I'm blanking now on the name of the city that Alex and Percy live in, but it does take place in
I
like
think
a
he
city.
said something on Twitter about it being Tetraville.
No, that's actually
That's the
that's
name.
a different that's the world of Ripped Away actually. So that's a better example. Is Ripped Away, like there's Tetraville.
Ripped Away 2 confirmed.
No, oh my god. But like yeah, like Alex and Percy.
Hey, this is a different joke this time.
Yeah. Alex and Percy, they live in like their own city. But I'm blanking now on what I called it too, and I don't have any of the reference sheets on me that refer to that. But like once that ends up being revealed, you'll kind of end up seeing like, okay, like all this stuff that's these different locations that they're at take place all in this like one connected city. So to reiterate, yeah, I guess the criteria would have to be like, it would have to be more than one video of a certain look. Well, I guess it wouldn't have to be more than one video because Tetraville. But It has to be like named, and you have to like kind of see a bit more of the location, other
I
than
think
just
the
like in a
implication
room.
here is that it's a location that shows up in multiple films.
Mhm.
Personally, for me, I would say it's David Pagano's Space Police world.
Mm.
It's very different from Lego's concept art, and from what we saw at the panel back in Brick Fair, I love how he just filled in all the blanks. Lego basically gave him a blank canvas and said, "Hey, here are the sets. Just make sure that none of the aliens that you put in this world are cooler than the aliens are actually selling." Which I thought was kind of a funny selling point. But I love the way he pulled it all together, and I especially love how they're all small models. They basically just comp together to make this big spaceport. I'm going to say this on many more podcasts to come. I love the world building in that series. It's so like minute and granular, but it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to imitate that many times as a kid.
What about you, Marcus? Because I didn't realize I'm still thinking hair.
I guess I have like two in terms of worlds. So the first one that came into my mind was Galactic Smugglers.
Ah, yes.
Ooh, that
Yeah,
is
yeah, because like I really enjoy the like space exploration as a kid. Unfortunately, I haven't seen the couple of latest episodes. I'm so sorry about that. But no, I enjoy the, what do you call it? Like the free aspect of course, like I said earlier, world exploration, because you can go with so many routes. You can like expand on the story plot line of that. Like, yeah, you can come up with so many different types of planets, like a fiery planet, ice planet, desert, planet full of cats or whatever. I'm not sure if I'm giving the Four
Next
Monkeys any
episode,
ideas.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, honestly, like, the last time I watched Galactic Smugglers, I don't know if it was episode 6 or 7, but it's when, like, I think the main character's brother, I forgot his name, I'm so sorry, his brother, like, was teleported, and that was, like, the last time I saw the show.
Marcus, are you even a real fan?
Yeah, exactly. Am I even a real fan? Because, like I said,
you
the last
even
time I
a
watched it
real
was, like,
fan?
way back then. But
Okay, well now it's time for me to confess that I haven't watched a lot of Galactic Smugglers either.
I
But what I've
also
been wanting
fall
to do
on the
though,
same
because I thought this would be
confession.
fun, I thought about watching them all like in a marathon and doing like a little react series video to it.
yeah.
So I've watched the entire thing because I have the memory of a small marsupial. It's not very helpful, and so I thought about just doing like a react video and posting it up on GVP just for fun. I don't know.
That would be neat. I like that.
Like I agree. That's one thing about space exploration and in movies I think is awesome, but it's also something that kind of drives me nuts. This is a little bit of a tangent, but I think Star Wars really popularized this concept. But single biome planets. This is going to be a little bit of a weird tangent. Like virtually every planet in Star Wars has a singular biome, or like 90% of it is one biome.
Mm-hmm.
Like Tatooine's the desert planet. Dagobah is the jungle planet. Hoth is the snow planet. When in reality, a planet that could sustain life would have multiple different biomes and ecosystems. Even planets like Mars, we're still trying to figure out if Mars even hosts life at all, but it has different biomes. Canyons, mountains, plains, ice caps. That's just 4 of them. Look at Earth, which is really the only planet we know of so far that we have 100% confirmed has life on it.
Sadly.
Intelligent life remains to be decided. But the point being, we have tons of different biomes and biodiversity. And while I think it's a fun idea for Star Wars in that it makes planets very distinct, I've yet to see a good sci-fi series that shows a system of planets where they're all very biodiverse and have a ton of biomes. And even my favorite movie, Interstellar, is kind of criminal because you have the water planet, you have the ice planet, and then you have the planet where the dead astronaut is. Like, so close yet so far.
I still have many things to say about that ending of the movie.
Do I sense a sparring match?
No. I just have one issue with the ending, but we will get that into a later topic between us two.
Well, I feel like this has to happen this episode because I finally got Trev to watch Interstellar.
Really? I mean, the last time I watched it was like way back in high school, so I just didn't like the ending. That's just me. It was just like kind of felt out in the
there's
open.
blood in the water now.
There was like no closure.
There is blood in the water, Marcus.
Marcus
Not
has,
him the shark in this
Marcus
conversation.
Marcus is digging himself a hole
too.
in this episode so far.
Let's put it this way. Star Wars and Jared. Chris and Interstellar. This is the level of unbridled enthusiasm I have for this movie.
Hmm.
And if you've seen Dude Brick's Twitter, you know he takes it pretty darn seriously.
This is true.
Very true.
It's actually quite scary, honestly.
Yes, I guess for...
No, we gotta go into this, man. Fire away. I want to hear this.
Oh, God.
No, that's it. Like, I think it was like, the dude, after, like, okay, spoiler alerts, after his daughter dies as a grandma and crap like that, like, he goes out to find the other girl on the other planet, right? Or something like that?
Yep.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
he goes after Astronaut Brand.
Yeah, no, that's really it. That's the only problem I had with that ending. Was like, he just tries to find that girl. I don't... Is there gonna be Interstellar 2? What?
No.
That's it. I'm just like...
Okay, no lie, this is a little bit underwhelming, but I feel like I may have built it up to be a bigger thing than it actually was.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, I don't think there's any need for
shoot.
blood, but...
I mean, Interstellar 2 would be cool, and that is one thing, though, I'd like about a lot of Nolan's movies. He does leave the the ending kind of, like, open-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's maybe room to explore it, but he still cuts it off. Like Inception. Like, you both have seen Inception, right?
Yes. Oh, and the ending of that film is incredibly
Marcus, you're
polarizing.
killing me.
Of course.
I
You haven't
told
seen
you,
it.
Chris. I will.
Yeah.
This is like my only bragging right. I am a filmmaker who does not watch films.
Well,
That is
so,
true, yeah.
So am I, but I don't. I don't.
shoot.
I don't
You've
live
watched
on my
more films than
laurels
I
of
have,
that-
Trev.
of that being
You've
the
watched
bragging right.
Into the Spider-Verse at least 100 times already.
Yeah.
Yes.
You probably, like, if I literally, like, threatened your life, you could probably draw every frame from that movie.
No, I couldn't because I'm not great.
Just to
at
save your
drawing.
life.
You follow a Twitter account called Every Frame of Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
There you go.
I do.
I know because you like every frame of Spider-Verse.
Not every single one. I could do every single one if you wanted me to.
Oh, I'm sorry. You skipped one or two. Yeah, that one smear frame, just went right past you on the Twitter feed.
But it was so cool. Anyways.
You like it.
Anyways.
I mean, man, my point was going to be until I realized that one of us here has not seen Inception. There's still an ongoing debate about the ending.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, film Twitter has about 1,000 different things that they argue about now. But one thing I deliberately like about Inception is that it very clearly sets up, I guess, a mini debate about how the movie actually ends, which I think is very interesting.
Yeah, it's an
that's a bit of
interesting
my
feat
there.
to be able to make something that's like not definably concrete, especially the ending to a film, because like the whole point of an ending of a film is supposed to be closure, and you don't get that at all.
These
Which
are
is
very good
bizarre.
film story building tips, by the way. Here,
Yeah, we're spitting knowledge about how, that stuff.
I don't know if closure is necessarily the right word for it.
Well,
I'd say impact.
everything is supposed to fall into
Yeah.
the place it's supposed to be in. Like it, traditionally movies don't really leave you guessing with how the ending's supposed to be interpreted. Like it's usually a very concrete, like, okay, all the characters, they've survived their adventure or their journey or whatever, and
or like the main
they're-
conflict has been resolved.
Yeah, everything's been resolved.
Okay,
and
that I
things
could
are
get
settled.
behind, yeah.
But like, yeah, the way that Nolan in particular is able to subvert that and just kind of keep you guessing after the credits have rolled.
Like maybe a
It's pretty
new
impressive.
conflict is like, why would you do this?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like, yeah, you don't want to introduce an entirely new concept at the end.
Oh, no,
I feel like that's just
that's a
anything.
horrible idea.
Speeches, movies, podcasts, anything really.
Frame
But
100.
at the same time, yeah. So, if we end a Frame 100 episode and we say, oh yeah, and here's some news about, the next Bob and Randy sequel, you'd probably be all, why did they end right there? I hate them. I'm going to unsubscribe and burn down Chris's house. Like, at the same time, you can leave an ending a little bit unresolved and keep the audience wondering. But I think I agree with you, Marcus. You do have to resolve the main conflict.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which
Oh, that's just
Interstellar
crap story.
did, but they kind of
Yeah.
introduced something
They
kind of
left
new.
it too open-ended. Well, like the Lego movie does that, and then that's where the second one takes right off from where the first
Yeah,
one ended.
gotta milk money. Hello.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think that's like, remember that. I guess it's still kind of an ongoing trend in some circles. Remember when they had a whole bunch of different like YA adult movies, like Hunger Games, Divergent, and all that crap, and they would split the last movie into two.
Which was
I feel like that is the perfect
thing.
crime.
It is
like,
the perfect
crime.
The
third movie was always a crime against humanity because you don't resolve the plot in your one movie.
Exactly.
I can't remember who I heard complaining about this, but they basically said the fact that Hunger Games Part 3, Episode 3, Return of the Katniss, or whatever the crap it is, ends at a completely nonsensical place and starts up again just to take money away from, small teenage peoples. Like, what's the point? There's no narrative purpose. It's simply just to take your money.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that could be said about The Hobbit as well, splitting a single book up into 3 different films. I haven't seen it, but definitely, like, from what I've heard, it's something where, like, it was drawn out a bit too long.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, man. You got me up against a wall there, though. Because on the one hand, I feel like you could split The Hobbit into 3 movies, but you have to be very deliberate about it.
Yeah.
And you have to... Like, it's one thing with Lord of the Rings. By making each book into a movie, they did cut a lot out. There's a whole discussion about Tom Bombadil and whether or not he was actually worth cutting in the first place.
Oh, no.
With The Hobbit, it's pretty similar in that it's a very, very dense book. I feel like if you were to really tap into the dense material, you could make it into a trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't, and that's why everybody got angry.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like Hunger Games, the movie is about as shallow as like the short end of the kiddie pool. There's no reason to break it up into 2 movies.
I skipped the second movie. I watched the third, and I'm like, wow, this movie is butt.
First
movie was good.
They're not great. I mean, some of them are
First movie
okay.
isn't even
Others
really that good though. Like it's funny because one thing I remember about the Hunger Games. It came out when I was in high school, like my sophomore year or something. And I remember there were literally kids crying in the hallway because they couldn't get tickets to the opening night with their friends. I thought, is this movie like really that good? And I watched it and I thought it was just the most underwhelming thing whatsoever. Mm-hmm. And then you had teachers arguing with students about whether or not it was actually a good movie during lunch and whatnot. And I'm sitting here thinking, it was very mediocre at best. Like, Trev and I, we were joking about this earlier. I said, The Hunger Games is pop politics. It's very shallow, and the message ends up being, yeah, people kill people bad, but good?
I was about to say something really messed up. Not gonna lie.
Just don't.
If it's that bad, we drag and frame delete over it and cut it.
No, I'm not gonna say it.
Good. Don't even. To round this out.
Way to keep us in suspense.
To round this out, I guess I have 2 picks as well.
I didn't say my second pick, but go ahead.
Oh, say your second then. Go ahead. Sorry.
I enjoy. Is it Zach's? I think it's Zach's. Like, I don't. Man, like, am I even a brick filmer? Like I said
No,
earlier,
you're
like
not.
I'm a filmmaker who doesn't watch films, but am I also a brick filmer who doesn't watch brick films?
I mean,
see, that's
probably.
deeper than the Hunger Games.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Like I don't remember the names of these people anymore. But it's like the one. What's like the world for Zach's where he was it like Andy and I don't remember.
Ben and Andy.
Ben and Andy.
What's the other dude's name?
Ben and Andy.
Yes, Ben and Andy. Yes, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the best world building that I've seen somewhere out of that episode was the like wrecking ball in the apartment. That was my favorite.
Well, see, I think I believe that's a single video. Well, that's where like
but is it an entire world though?
Yeah. Well, is it really a world though? Like now I'm thinking of Benny and Lee, which is another one of the famous like roommate buddy comedies. Mm-hmm. It all takes place mostly within one house, maybe a couple of extra locations.
Oh,
I'd have a really hard time calling it a universe.
Yeah.
But then again, they imply parallel universes, so it's really a toss-up.
Exactly.
But isn't like a world also considered how like the characters interact with their surroundings? I guess like the world tells about the character.
I mean, I think when we're, at least
Yeah.
the way the question was posed, I think it's more in a sense of like, yeah, this is a,
like world building.
this is an area that's lived in by multiple other people. There's like a society built around it, or at least like, you know, we see like multiple different peoples and their happenings within this location.
I feel like dedicated world would be a good way to pose it.
That's probably
like
a
any
better way to
brick
put
film
it.
technically has a world. Like I
Mhm.
think of what was it Rio's joke entry for the Shaq Promise. Technically, that's a world, but we know he wasn't intending to actually make anything serious.
Mhm.
But then you look at, say, you know, I'll use my example because no one's used it yet and I feel left out. Bob and
Good.
Brandy certainly has a very deliberate universe built around it, and I'm planning to do a whole lot more with that. And episode 6 is in the works, and I keep forgetting to send the Star Wars studio the script fragments.
Mhm.
Like, that's a very dedicated attempt at building a world.
Gotcha.
I know.
Okay. Then.
Maybe that's how I define the question. Nick's probably listening right now thinking, no, you idiots, that's not what I meant. But let's just run with it and see what happens.
All right,
Well-
Trev, what's your pick?
Okay, so for my two, one of them I guess is, it kind of counts. It's not like original necessarily, but it would be Las Vegas from all of Alexander Studios' films, because it's
Oh
it
my
is-
god, you're right. I
Yeah,
forgot
it's-
about him.
It's very deliberately
That
based.
does count.
It's very deliberately based on an actual location, but there's so much nuance in, and it's incredibly impressive just how massive he's able to build his set pieces for that world, because everything is entirely connected to one another. Because effectively, there's just a whole entire city layout that he has.
He hasn't uploaded
And everything
in, like,
is
years.
kind of built
Well,
around
no
that. And it's just, again, like the scale of it it's really impressive. And then I guess my second pick here would be it was one of the ones mentioned in the question we were posed, Legando from the world of Mini Life TV. Just because I think that's one of the most fleshed out universes to be a part of, like a brick film series, just because you're seeing just so many different locations throughout the whole entire series. You know, not only do you have Ian and Chris's house, which in itself I think is its own little world, like a self-contained world, just because of all the different little areas to it. And then on top of that, you've also got like the martial arts arena, and then you've got the mayor's office and the Mini Life TV studios, and just all these other locations that feel very seamlessly put together, you know, like a sitcom regularly would. And it's very impressive.
I think what really helps is that they add a whole bunch of other elements. There's the kind of spookier element with all Snowball story stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They've hinted at different planets and dimensions. And I think that's what really helps flesh it out.
Oh, yeah.
Because otherwise, to me, it would feel like just a bunch of set pieces and all just happen to be the same area. But Chris and Ian have made very deliberate attempts to describe something just outside of simply Legando itself.
Exactly.
Like, Legando has a lot of depth to it. And of course, when you say Legando, the theme song starts playing in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter who you are, who you want to be, you're all welcome here at Mini Life TV.
TV. No, I thought we were doing the
It is
crescendo at
catchy
the
as all
end.
get out.
God.
I was thinking first verse, but it's catchy. Like, my
Exactly.
point stands.
I've been meaning
We
to
want
go back and
Theme
rewatch
songs for
it
Brickfilm
some point
series. Let's keep
soon.
going.
I've been meaning to go back and
There we
rewatch
go.
it some point soon, and I think that I might just have to do that sooner rather than later.
Go for it. All right, we want to tackle the next question here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. So, our dude Josh Nelson over on Twitter says, #Frame100. If you had to choose one brick film to watch on the big screen, what would it be?
You can
Keep
cut
in
out
mind,
the
it has to
second
be
part.
one that is
You don't
already
have to talk about the
released.
second part. You don't have to talk about the second part. Don't
Sorry, Trevor.
have to talk about the second part.
Too late.
To answer your question.
But see, what I think is funny about this question, it implies that Trevor has released no brick films at all.
It's
Oh!
not funny. It's not.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. I mean, when is Batman's Frosty Fight coming out?
If I were to answer this question, I guess what I would have to say as my answer, I hate you guys. I don't know. Like, I would now see, like, would I want to be one of those people who watches something that's like very short and sweet, and just because of the visuals, I would want to see it up on the big screen, or is it something where like it feels like a cinematic experience because the film is just that long and lengthy and well fleshed out? That's kind of the question, like the way I'm spinning the question there. Truth be told, I think I would prefer to go with something that's just it's as engaging as it possibly can, but it's a bit shorter, sweeter, simpler. And I think for that, I'd have to go with, old reliable, The Cleaners. I think that film in particular would just look so good up on the big screen. That's my pick.
It's a good one.
I know.
What do you think, Marcus?
I'm still thinking, actually.
Shoot, because I had a good answer, but I'm trying to save mine for last.
Oh.
So I want to throw some.
Okay. I sort of have it. It's quite an old brick film. I don't know if it's old. I mean, I guess it's kind of new. It's recent. It's been like maybe 2 years. I don't know if it's been 2 years, but like the latest like Batman series from Force.
Yeah.
With like the invasion of the Jokers, and then the like Joker died. Spoiler alert. Blah blah blah. I should have said spoiler alert first, but yeah. Because he made it into like I think 3 episodes, but then he made like an entire 10-minute
Yeah,
video
there was
on
a
it,
compilation
all the videos
with
together.
all of them connected. Mm-hmm.
Either that or I enjoy his Justice League video. I really enjoyed that. That was really cool.
That would be a good one to watch.
Yeah, those are both good picks.
See, my answer is kind of a bit of a cheating one because I actually have watched some brick films on the big screen. Okay, so at Brick World Chicago 2018, they had the film festival there, hosted by David Pickett, aka Bricks 101. And I actually did watch quite a few brick films on a projector screen. Granted, it's like one of the smaller ones. It wasn't a dedicated theater area at the convention, but it felt like the same sort of effect. And it was really fun, but I recognized a lot of like films that people had made. Trev's being one of them. Remember, William Osborne was there as well. I want to say one of Sam's was up there as well. Thing is, though, besides me and David, like I didn't know any other brick filmers there. They're just casual LEGO fans watching. So if I were to have that again, where I'm watching brick films on the big screen, I would rather get together a group of brick filmers, like all my friends who have actually released a film pretty recently that they'd want to show on the big screen, and we'd all just watch them together. Because you know how it is with Discord and whatnot. You make a film, you spam it on every promotion chat you possibly can and get exposure.
About that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm totally guilty of that. Like, I think it'd be more fun that everybody brings a brick film, we all watch them on a big screen. It'd be a ton of fun. The atmosphere would be great.
Plus, 2021.
Brick Fair 2021.
Yes,
I would love to do that. Like, our Airbnb had like a big projector screen. That would have been kind of cool to try. But we weren't allowed to have guests because of recent policies. But point being, I think any brick film on the big screen could be fun, but I'd want to be there with the person who made it.
Oh, yeah.
Because they'd light up. It's a really cool feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's my super sappy, sentimental answer.
Oh,
yeah,
actually,
I know, like...
That's a good one, too. Captain America Nazi Zombies. That one was a good one.
Ooh,
that would be a good one on the big screen.
Yeah,
I watched that so many times.
I'm remembering now that I actually got to see Torment up on the big screen because I forgot I submitted that to a film festival. And that was one where
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was.
Did you get a nomination for it?
I remember. I won.
You won?
Yeah, I won the.
How
animation.
long ago was that?
This would have been. I think this was last spring. So it's been a little over a year now. But like, yeah,
to answer the question, yes, you did get a nomination.
Yeah, I did.
I'm like so
it wasn't a nomination
on like my
basis,
timeline. Like, am I in the wrong timeline here?
You probably
did. I accidentally like time travel?
Yeah, you
I
probably.
think 2020 is just the wrong timeline period.
This is true.
That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I remember like it was
I remember that,
it was very
yeah.
weird because mine was like one of the only animations shown on that day
Oh.
that they were screening films. I think there was only like one other one, and it was like a hybrid live action animation film anyways. So like
So-
it was very jarring, you know, going from all these live action films to just one with these plastic toys moving around on screen.
Does that mean it's like you're the only one in the competition for the animation category?
Well, no, there were definitely some other animation films shown on other days, but I wasn't there for those
Oh.
other days because the festival ran over a weekend. So
Right.
there were films being shown at different times that weren't mine.
So were you the only animation one, or just the only brick film one?
I was the only brick film one as far as I know. Maybe that was why I won the
Like
animation
animation
category.
in general is what I'm wondering.
Maybe I won it by default.
And
I
the
don't
winner by default is Trevor.
know. I mean, hey, I got paid. I got
Did you
money
get a
out
cool
of it.
trophy
I
for
got
it?
money and a cool plaque out of
Long-awaited
it.
film.
So
It's long-awaited film, My Unluckiest Life, season 3, episode 19. When is it coming out, by the way?
I mean, I'm still wondering when episode 6 of Bob and Randy's
you
coming.
Can timestamp. Well, I have a script. How about that?
Huh.
Oh.
Okay.
When
You
is
can see
Your
the
point-
webcam
your
right now
point
'cause I'm
is-
dabbing on Trev.
Your point
When
is,
is
The point is
A Deal to Die
my
For
point-
1.5 coming out?
Actually, that's on my list, but instead of sandwiches this time, it's croissants.
okay.
Hey,
I'm trying to
croissants
appeal to
are
an
good.
international
I
audience.
would
I
I would
can
do A
respect
Deal to
the
Die For
creative liberties there.
croissants. Okay.
You know what, Marcus? Do it. I did mine in 7 hours. I bet you can do it in 6.
7 hours.
What? 6?
Yeah.
Are you crazy? That's like
Yeah, I am
Super
crazy. That's why I
fact.
made a deal to die for 2 free sandwiches in only 7 hours.
That's what is it?
Seriously, Marcus, it doesn't need to be good. It just needs to exist. That's
it
all
just
it needs.
needs. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, Jeff. That one actually hurts
just
me
needs
too.
to
I
exist.
could debate
Dang.
against that, but I'm not going to because I know we have other things to talk about.
Because you don't have films that exist.
Speaking
According to Josh
of-
Nelson here, it has to be one that's already released.
Speaking
Oh.
of other questions, I'm just gonna keep ignoring you until
You can't do it forever, Trev.
I can
I will break you.
actually. I've done it for 2 years, so I can continue doing it a lot longer.
Ouch.
To keep moving forward, there's a very interesting topic that I believe was brought up first by our good friend Rio Force on Twitter, being that do any non-brick filmers actually take brick films seriously? Or is it always just cute toys moving on their own? I'm developing an idea for a broader audience, but the Lego aspect might hurt the project if people aren't able to immerse themselves in the story. As a brick filmer, I've never not taken Lego movies seriously because it's my medium of choice. I can immerse myself in it and see the characters as more than just minifigure toys. What about everyone else? Is it even possible? It's a really interesting topic. I know a lot of people have been talking about it just on other servers and replying to him on Twitter. And I definitely wanted to see the three of us throw our hat in the ring in terms of what we think on the subject. 'Cause
Should I go get like?
I feel
my
like we
hat
have
and just
different
throw it at the
opinions.
camera.
What?
Do it, Marcus. Absolutely.
I don't want to run upstairs to my room. Don't grab the hat. That's too much work.
And the fact that Brick Hat Studios is not currently wearing the hat. We're going to talk with HR about that.
Disappointing.
I am HR.
Oof.
No,
But I think the one
no,
example that
dear
comes to
God,
mind,
no.
which is a shame that he's not here, Sam's Ace Brickman series. Because, when Ace is saying goodbye to his daughter in the morgue in episode 2, the very last thing in my mind was, oh, cute toys moving on the screen.
Mhm.
Like, that was very far removed. I remember I replied to Rio on Twitter. We talked about this a little bit on Discord as well. But my stance is, if you look at it as pluses and minuses, the minus of working with Lego is that Lego is generally seen as a kid's toy. It's a constraint that is probably going to hurt the tone of your film if you're going for something serious.
Yes.
Which, in my opinion, means you need to double down on everything else. So make sure your lighting is consistent with something that you want serious and moody, kind of tone down the colors or be very deliberate about your palette so it doesn't look super whimsical. Your story now has to reflect this as well. You can't go around with very mediocre child-friendly themes. I'm not saying make everything like, a gory bloodbath, but like be very deliberate about how you present the themes in your story. Music choice as well. Don't do something that's light and upbeat that makes people think, oh, how whimsical. Try to drive, some emotion other than, oh, cute toys. Because my answer is, if the fact that it's Lego makes it a minus, you have to make everything else a major plus and hope that they cancel out.
Mm-hmm. I think taking that sort of mindset to the point where like we could apply that to like animation in general. I know animation in general is typically looked upon as a more childish form of filmmaking, which baffles me still. Like,
it's absolutely ridiculous.
It's something where I think the reason it's looked
Into
upon
the
that way,
Spider-Verse is a good movie.
it's an amazing movie, in fact, and yes, pun intended, by the way. Amazing.
Oh my
Spider-Man.
god.
But yeah,
Oh,
like
wow.
it's something where I feel like animation in general falls into two courts. It falls into the court of either, yes, this is specifically made as kids media, there's not a ton of thought being put into it, it's just to get families and kids butts in seats. Or there's the other court being, yes, this is very explicitly made for adults, we're going to swear and curse and have lots of blood and do lots of naughty crap in it because we can, because we're rated R. And it's like it's very hard to find an in between. There's very few films that do find an in between, but as Marcus said, Into the Spider-Verse very flawlessly falls into both camps. And it baffles me because I don't think it's very hard. It's something where you just have to find, once you get a story down that's emotionally engaging enough, then you can kind of gauge whether or not you want it to swing one way or the other, but you have to do your best to find a middle ground. Again, it also depends on the audience you're going for. It depends on like the mood you're going for within the film. There's a lot of factors that fall into it, but it still just, it baffles me that we haven't reached a point where animation is getting regarded as highly as live action. But I do think we're finally, after all this time, starting to take steps in the right direction.
I feel like it always has had a fair amount of respect, though. I mean, some people, they're not going to be able to see past the medium.
Mm-hmm.
I think one good example is someone finding the middle ground is Pixar. I know Orion and I, we've had discussions a lot about this in the past, where he says that he thinks that Pixar should try and go like a darker direction. Like, I have Disney Plus thanks to my mom's password. Hi, Mom. Love you, by the way. And I've been watching all the Pixar movies just for the sake of nostalgia, like Toy Story especially. And one thing I found very interesting about Toy Story is that there's a lot of fairly mature themes in there, and a lot of it jokes that only adults will get.
That's what I was
because
just
they're
thinking
dirty or
about.
whatnot, but because they're fairly
Have you
complex.
seen Toy Story 3? Hello, guys?
Toy Story 3 is savage!
Yeah, and
That's
something,
close to the ending. Close to the
That's-
ending.
exactly.
Everybody's
That's
seen it. It's been out for at least 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's
it's
maybe
been
more
out
than
for
that.
10.
You kind of have no excuse.
It's been
at
out
this
for
point.
10, Marcus.
Like, think of some of the
Really?
many things
When
that
did
the
it come out?
toy...
2010. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
It came out in
Yeah.
2010?
It
No.
came out- it
Oh
came
my
out-
gosh,
You're
it is 10 years
lying.
old.
came out a decade ago, which again,
No,
that's
it
crazy.
did come out in 2010.
Oh my god, it came out in 2010?
Yeah,
We are
It's
all
been a decade?
old and destined to die.
it's a decade old. It's
Holy
crazy.
crap.
But like, yeah, you know, like Toy Story, it's the same thing. It's toys. But
Exactly.
why do people like that? And that's the thing, is it's very weird to see that people are so emotionally connected to those toys versus Lego and that toy. But I guess you could also argue that it's not that way because they managed to do it with all the different Lego movies. They
Yeah,
managed to
That's
find.
what
Well, yeah, it's 'cause they-
pointed out.
They doubled down.
Exactly.
Like, Toy Story. I didn't own any of those toys as a kid. Like I
No.
never had a Woody, never had a Buzz. I think my brother got a Buzz at one point. We threw him off the banister like in the first movie. Didn't end very well. Like, think about what they do. All the toys have a very distinct personality.
Mhm.
They're very recognizable. They take very benign situations and they make them terrifying. Like fireworks, baggage claims, garbage trucks. Those are just kind of everyday things for us. But they go ahead and they make them just terrifying for the actual characters in the script. Do you guys mind if I mention Toy Story 4 a little bit? Because that one really surprised me.
If you don't spoil the ending, I will leave.
Okay, not
I've
the ending.
seen
I won't
it.
spoil that.
I've seen it, so
but
go
like
ahead.
The beginning scene, and I'm pretty sure this beginning scene was in a trailer. Okay, Mark's take off the headphones. I'll give him the thumbs up when we're all clear. But
I can't listen. I literally have my headphones off.
that's why I'm just gonna give you the thumbs up when we're all clear. Yeah, like at the very beginning, they have a scene where they're trying to rescue what's his face, the RC. That's his name.
Yeah.
It's a gutter. A gutter is normal and benign. I see them every day. There's water in them. Nobody cares. But they make this rescue scene where the gutter is the most terrifying thing on the planet. Which blows my mind. Because on the one hand, they're toys. It's an animated movie. The odds are kind of stacked against you for being scary. But they paint the scene so it's so terrifying and engrossing. You're sitting there going, oh my gosh, I hope they make it.
Well,
Alright, spoilers are done, Marcus. We're all good. Like, the point being, they
I literally have my headphones
everything else. Which I think makes it work so well.
And it's funny you point that out, because I know with the finale of the Lego movie, they do the exact same thing. Emmett has made his way over into, the real world, and he's seeing these humans which are effectively monsters to him, because he's never seen them before. They're massive creatures that tower over him. He's not able to move. He's paralyzed in a sense, and not able to interact with them in any way. It's the same sort of dichotomy between both those films. And yeah, I guess it just kind of, I guess a way to come over the fact that, yes, you're dealing with the fact that it's toys, is to rest on the laurels of like, okay, so I have this tiny little plastic thing in front of me. How do I realistically get across that it has emotion, that it's like alive, how it would react within the world that it's posed in, or within a different world, one that it's not used to. Yeah, and like Chris said, it's about like finding those aspects that most people would look at and try and immediately write off, and taking them and delivering them in as far and a polished manner as you possibly can.
Agreed. And plus, to a certain degree, you will be limited to the imagination of the viewer.
Exactly.
I think there's some people who they just won't see an animated movie or a brick film, and they won't be able to let go of the fact that it's just toys or whatnot. There's a guy, and I'll keep this part pretty short because it frustrates me to no end, but he told me, yeah, I have virtually no imagination. And when I tried to explain to him like the ending of Interstellar, we're full circle again, he had the hardest time trying to understand the idea that the point of the movie wasn't super accurate space travel, but so much of the concepts of humanity surviving against great odds. Yes. And the way that the narrative pokes at the imagination of the audience to get the idea across. So the point of that, with that very strange tangent, being that some people just will not accept that the medium or the presentation is actually worth the crap. But there are a fair amount of people who are willing to suspend their belief or suspend their bias to give the story a chance. And if you're willing to do that, you're going to have a lot of fun with it.
I think that's fundamentally the biggest issue at hand, is like, if you are so close-minded that you can't suspend your disbelief and, engross yourself into the characters, the world, what they're fighting for, like what they're doing, ultimately, you're ultimately your own enemy in that instance. Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to crap people out about it. I mean, some people they prefer certain mediums over another. I think in our group alone, I could say in about 2 or 3 words what each of our favorite mediums of this, that, and the other thing are. But at the same time, A, it's worth branching out, be imaginative, try new things. But B, it's also good to know your audience as well, and know that you're not going to please everybody with your film.
Yeah.
You're not Disney. You can't please everybody, and everyone's still going to be mad at you.
Like I can speak on A Deal to Die For, and how I know one of the challenges I took on with the film from the get-go was the fact that, okay, I'm trying to get across the fact that there is a an inherently scary element to a kid's toy. How am I going to go about doing that? And that's where
How will you go about doing that?
That's where I did my best to make sure that all the script writing and the atmosphere of the film and the characters are
Your
all...
sound design have to be on point for that.
Oh yeah,
especially for a horror film.
I've begun to finally start doing a rough mix, and that's one of the things
I gotta hear this, man. Unless you
that's-
don't want me to keep me in the suspense, I am okay with both.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things I like. It's just all those different aspects. Like they're gonna have to play a really strong part, I think, in getting the full experience of the film across. Because it's a film that I think would very easily transfer over to live action, and that's where I will be very interested to see if the fact that it's in this animation medium, I'm interested to see if that's going to help or hinder it. And I think that goes to I think that's something that can kind of tie in with the fact that, like, why are we seeing all these animated films getting turned into live action reboots now? Like, we've seen that a lot of these animated films can transfer into live action, and people adore both versions. Some more than others, because I know I might.
I feel like this is another topic in time. Like, sorry to cut you off, but I can see us going down a really deep rabbit hole.
Oh, we totally could. It's such a broad topic.
Be out of control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, because what the topic at hand was about, what a general question is like.
If people can actually take Brickfilms seriously and not see it as more than just cute toys moving around.
For me, I think yes, to an extent, because we've seen works on YouTube that have used Lego animation before. Like, when I say works, I mean like music videos and like epic rap battles. Like, yeah, Forrest, that all that. Because when you're just like what, a subscriber for epic rap battles, like a generic viewer would be like, oh cool, these two are rapping. But then when it's Lego's like, whoa, Lego minifigures, what is this? But then
That is an interesting point.
But then when you watch like maybe a Lego music video, there's always a story to a music video, and it's like, okay, cool, it's a Lego animation. But then as the music keeps going, and then as like you see the visuals and how like the main character or the protagonist in that music video is like going through struggles or like conflict, you're like, whoa, dang, that's a story right there. You literally would forget that it's a Lego animation right there. That's what Chris would say for the Ace Brickman universe.
Mm-hmm.
The music video made me think of James K. Wood's Joji recreation.
Yes,
I'm trying to remember the song name, but I did
Dancing
not
in
look
the
at it and
Dark.
say, "Oh, look, cute, Dancing in the Dark." Thank you. That song is actually low key my jam. Even
I
though
really
it's
do
no
like it. He
breakdowns
does have
whatsoever.
some good tunes.
Like, the point being, I did not watch that and think, oh, cute little Legos moving around. Far from it.
But like,
Well,
there's no
yeah,
way
it's
to get
that-
rid of that like Lego-ness, Like
Mhm.
it's a Lego film, of course, but like, I guess the only true way to get rid of it, in my opinion, I don't know if it's a true way, but like, the one thing that's always missing compared to like a brick film and like a live action film, of course, is literally the performance of the actor. And like, you don't really have actors in the Lego minifigure because they're limited to the
Yeah, there's a lot of limitations
painted
in terms
face?
of movements, in terms of like
Yeah.
facial animation. You usually have to.
Maybe it's not so much that the minifigure's limited, but that the minifigure's on actor. You're the actor for the minifigure. So where a traditional director would rely on the actor to carry across the interpretation, you have to make it yourself as the director and animator.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Would that be like a fair assessment, Marcus, of
Yeah.
what you were trying to get at?
Like, I guess the best way to summarize it is action speaks louder than words, especially in animation.
Mm-hmm.
The way they move
Yes.
speaks the
That's a
character.
better way of going
This
about
is 100% true. And Chris, it's interesting you brought up the James K. Wood's Dancing in the Dark recreation. And again, I think that falls into the, I know we didn't delve into it too much, but like that falls into the same camp of, you know, seeing like live action remakes of animated films. It's something where like, yeah, a lot of it can very much be translated between one versus the other, because like more specifically with James K. Wood's Dancing in the Dark music video recreation is that it's a recreation. It's a recreation of a live action film. And that's something where it still affects you the same way in both mediums. I dare say that James K. Wood's has a little bit more emotion put into it.
See, that's I wouldn't say the same way per se. Okay, so the live action one definitely it's hard. Like
exactly.
The live action.
This is such an interesting topic to go into.
Yeah, like the live action music video certainly counts for giving off a certain set of emotions. It's very deliberate, the way he's acting, the way behind the song, and the artist. The Lego recreation is more likely to spark a sense of, hey, look, cool, it's in Lego, before it kicks into the nitty-gritty of the song.
Yeah.
I know, I've been thinking about music videos a lot, because A, I want to animate one, and
Same
B,
here.
there are a ton of great ones to live to reference. For the sake of listening, I highly recommend any of Red's music videos. I just gotta throw this out there. Trev, you've seen a few of them.
This
you know
man.
they're great. Yeah. One of the best ones, though, is the song, the music video for a song called "Feed the Machine." It's a pretty heavy song, so if it's not your jam, I totally get that. But one of the cool things about the music video is that they tell a story through the music video itself. So they have this ongoing story about these guys who are under attack, and they kind of pull up with the rest of the themes of the song, a very deliberate color palette. When you watch that music video, you definitely get a sense of sort of tension, like something's on the verge of exploding. And right when the bridge and last chorus kick in, it's gone full force and it feels great.
Yeah.
Thing is, though, I wanted to make a Lego recreation of this for a while, but I know that the minute I try, it's gonna be, oh, hey, cool. This Lego minifigures around the, you know, exploding computer hardware and the fireworks, and oh my goodness, like the main guitarist and the main bassist are Lego minifigures now, and you can't tell them apart because they're twins. And I feel like that's gonna be the obstacle, though, with a lot of recreations. Instead of going from, oh, cute, little Lego minifigures moving around, we switch more to like what Marcus was saying, where it's, oh, cool, it's Lego! Which is a different reaction, of course, but it might not help for your theme. Which is why if I were to do a music video where it'd be Lego, I would deliberately use Lego as a way to amplify the themes of the song.
Yeah.
So let me wrap that part up. I thought about making a music video, instead of Feed the Machine off that same album, I'd go with the song Faceless. Because it's a pretty good jam, pretty upbeat. One of the themes of the song is identity and who you are when everything is stripped away from you. And one thing I can do with Lego minifigures is remove the face. So now it's no longer, oh cool, Lego minifigures moving. It's now, oh, this is deliberate. Because the minifigure there has a face, or he doesn't have a face. The song is called Faceless. I can take something just very basic like that, everyone full force it in another direction. I think the topic basically boils down to being very deliberate.
Exactly. And there's no way you're going to be able to entirely 100% affect an audience in a certain, like, in the way you want them to, because everyone is open to their own opinions. Everyone interprets things completely differently. But yeah, it's very telling that, like, you have to have your medium back up what you're trying to get across with the themes of the film and the importance of the film. So I guess that's kind of really all that question boils down to. If anybody has anything else to say, feel free to let us know. If there's some other angle to this question that we didn't really explore at all, we might potentially follow up on it with what anybody else has to say. It's a very interesting discussion. I highly recommend, if you haven't really thought about it much, throw your hat in the ring, throw something out there, see what other people have to say about it, and hopefully it will spark some more really cool conversation, because I think it's a very it's a very interesting thing to talk about.
Well, in our line of questions, shall we kick into the thought-provoking question
Of the week. Yes, let's do it.
Woo, woo.
So who do we have doing that
I
this
still
week?
don't remember the theme song. Like, Jared hasn't been on for like 2 weeks, so Ghost of Jared has to interject here with his theme song right now.
I don't have time for a seance, Marcus. Does someone have a question lined up?
Yes.
Marcus.
Actually.
Go for it, Marcus.
Yeah,
I feel like we all planned a question thinking that the other two people wouldn't have a question.
So, speaking of music videos,
Ooh.
this is actually sort of related to Sam's question last week, but what song would you choose that represents you?
As in, okay, so a song or a music video?
Song.
Song. Dang, that's
It's a tricky one.
that is a
Like,
very
it could be
tricky
your
one.
personality, or I mean, yeah, I guess it's your personality because I said it represents you as a person.
I guess I can answer this. I know if you had asked me this question, I'd say 3-4 years ago, I without a doubt would have said Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Not because it's my favorite song ever, but I at that time in my life, I definitely felt like a lot of the themes of that song related to the state that I was in at that time. Because I know my junior year of high school was not a fun time, but I can save that sob story for another day.
High school is never a fun time.
High school is never a fun time.
If you had a fun time in high school, good for you. I'm happy for you.
You're
But,
also
like,
a liar.
Exactly.
I'm kidding, no.
But if you were to
I'm just
ask
kidding,
me
we love
today, which I guess you have, I'd probably say it's another one of my favorite songs. It would be "Dancing with Myself" by Billy Idol. I think there's something about that song, like there's this kind of like theme of like, yeah, I'm kind of like my own soul. The world is kind of like falling down around me, but I'm, just here doing my own thing, getting by the best way that I possibly can. And I'd say that this year more than ever, that's fairly evident. But yeah, like I guess that's the song I would have to go with. And it's funny that we mentioned the whole thing about the music video stuff, because that is a song that I would absolutely love to make a music video for. And I very well might do that at some point in the future. We'll see. Who knows? Chris.
Marcus, you're straight up killing me with this question. I am
I know.
I'm
I'm like, oh man, I want to see Chris's answer for this. I mean, I can go next. I don't mind.
oh yeah, buy me some time, man.
Yeah,
please.
I got you, man. Okay, so for me, I'm gonna go with Trev's context here. If I was back then in high school with my edgy self, my edgy meme lord self,
Crawling in my
I feel like Chris would really like this song too. I'd probably go with I think it's by Dragon Force, Through the Fire and the Flames.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that one's a pretty legendary track.
Yeah, that's a legendary song. And I'm just like, yo, I will literally like, okay, so here's a funny story. So like there was this one time in high school, right, where like it was Friday afternoon. We had to go to New York for like a card game tournament, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so me and my friend, after school, all classes are over, everybody's like trying to go home. Hallways are crowded. Literally, me and my friend, we literally just barrage through the crowd, and everyone's like calling us assholes, dickweeds. We just kept on going straight. We did not give a f. We're like, screw you. We gotta get to New York. It's like 3:00 in the afternoon.
So you're telling us that the fire and flames weren't so much metaphorical as they were just everybody else in the hallway.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm having
But
to
for
resist
me,
the urge right
That's
now
a good
to just
interpretation.
air guitar, and I'm having to resist the urge to air
Guitar
guitar
Hero,
to the song.
But right now, for me, I think the song that would best represent me, it's High Hopes.
Oh, by
Okay, that is a jam.
Panic
no
at the
lie.
Disco.
Yeah, exactly. High Hopes, because I've been pretty motivated for like the past couple years, kind of get my life together, trying to make things work.
Mm-hmm. It's better than where I'm at right now.
Yeah, man.
No, that song is a jam. Not the biggest Panic fan, but that comes on and it's pretty.
It's because you're a Billy Idol fan, right?
Maybe.
I know what I'm forcing you to listen to
man.
later.
I know what I've been trying to force you to listen to for a while.
Yeah, you're not gonna make any headway there, though. Sorry, buddy.
This is hard. See, there's quite a few songs that come to mind. The thing is, a couple songs, like, they make me feel a certain way that I don't think I could actually really describe. I could try. I'd sound like a moron. I would never get the point across. So I'm gonna mentally cross those off the list.
Do your
quickly.
best, man.
Yeah, and there's a couple songs where they're kind of fun and upbeat, but I wouldn't say they're really like super meaningful.
They're not me, you know. They're not me.
I think one song that really does come to mind that I have played a lot lately. Okay, I gotta choose between two of them. We've gone down from like a bajillion different FLAC lossless files on my hard drive. We got two of them. And on the same album, so I'm tempted to just say the same album and cheat this question.
There's no cheating it. You've got to give a definitive answer.
Okay, well there we go. There's my answer. I'm gonna go with Youth Division by Fit for a King. I know, total shocker. Fit for a King. Of course, it was Fit for a King. The thing about the album it's on, Dark Skies, is one of my favorite albums. One of the reasons I really like it so much is because it released during my first year of grad school. And my first year was horrible. I had no clue what I was doing. I could not manage my time. It was my first time like living and being an adult in the real world. And a whole lot of things just went wrong. I had to say goodbye to a lot of friends. A lot of people ended up going different directions. I was really miserable. And one thing's about the song Youth Division, the lyrics are they alternate between clean vocals and unclean vocals. So for those who haven't heard me rant on Twitter, clean vocals are your traditional singing, and unclean vocals are screaming, roaring, etc., like your typical metal. One of the things that resonates about the song is when they're switching back and forth between the two vocals, they're describing one person two different times. How he was ideally when he was a kid, and things are upbeat and fun and bright and whatnot, and then it transitions to when he's an adult and things look a lot bleaker. And one of the things about the song that really resonated with me at that time was the bridge. The lyric is, "I can't turn back time, but I can let it go. I'm fighting back against the poison in my soul. Bring me back to a time where I didn't tear things down. Bring me back to a life where I wasn't so let down." And what I realized about that is, life, you're going forward, it can get miserable, it can feel awful. You can't turn back time, but you can let it go. And you can eventually get to a point where some other opportunity opens. It might not be like what you left behind, but there's no guarantee it's going to be awful. In fact,
let the past die. Kill it if you have to.
Yes, I love it.
That is the worst way to summarize the album.
I love that. You know me. I quote that all the time.
I'm going to go with this song, though. A close second would be Oblivion, but it's one where I don't want to describe it. Just go listen to it. It's great.
See, this is where Chris gets you. He's like, ooh, there's some cool little thing they do with this cool little song here. You should totally go listen to it, and then it blows your eardrums off.
Okay, on that note, Youth Division at the very end of the chorus has a key change. It changes from one key to another. It's very dramatic.
Okay.
I don't think you're allowed to do that in metal songs. Okay,
Chris.
But they did.
Okay.
Actually,
started, and
Trev.
it's funny. It's funny you mentioned like the context sort of for that song, because like at least like with the personal meaning it has for you. Because I realized I talked about that with Bo Rap, but not with Dancing with Myself. There wasn't. The first time I'd ever heard the song was when it's featured very prominently during the opening of Flushed Away. Oh my god! So that was the first time I'd ever heard the song was in that movie.
Oh, don't tell me you fell in the bathroom.
No, that's No.
Hey, you make fun of my song, I make fun of your song. Marcus laughs at us both.
That's fair. But no, like that actually that song that happened to come on the drive home for my high school graduation. It was very weird how that happened, because I was like, it was entirely by chance. It was the radio. It's like the universe was speaking to me. Because you already know, like the whole ride home, I was just jamming out to that song, because that was that was the point where I was like, yeah, I'm out of high school. You know, I'm moving on to college. I'm gonna have this whole new path ahead of me, and I'm really excited for it and ready to just make the most of it. And it was just, I guess the universe was just speaking to me there. It was quite interesting.
It was the DJ.
Oh,
yes.
Oof. That's the thing about radio, though. The few songs they play repeatedly. Can you just stop it, please?
No, not Dancing with Myself.
Are you allowed to pick a song other than the one you just played 3 songs ago?
Stop.
You know what they played so many times at my graduation?
Oh no.
It was 2015. You know what they played?
Gangnam
I'm
Style.
scared.
When I See You Again.
Oh my god.
Oh my.
And I'm just like, I don't want to see these people again. I don't want to see class of 2015 again, please. That's the whole point of me graduating.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that song, so I feel your pain there.
Top oof. I would have played that at my graduation.
We actually
I probably should have closed my graduation with another Fit for a King song, "Slave to Nothing,"
Slave to Nothing.
or "Kill the Pain," or "The Final Thoughts of a Dying Man." I don't know, one of those 3. This is going down a horrible route. We should probably close this off.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Top oof, as they say. Anyways, thanks for listening to this episode of the Frame100 podcast. If you have any thoughts on any of the topics we discussed today, minus the one that we mentioned 1 minute ago, please leave a comment or tag us on Twitter with hashtag Frame100podcast. We'd also like to thank Lots of Toast for the awesome theme music. Please go check out his channel and support his work. If you want to hear more from us, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Until then, stay tuned for our next episode, and keep brick filming.